Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have got an incredible shelter to show you today, as you've just seen. It is incredible, this one, for a multitude of different reasons. We won't reveal location, but we can tell you a good chunk of history in relation to this. So let's begin. There's no doubt that this shelter was important to the family, and we know that within this, this was more likely to be built during 1939, pretty much at the start of roughly when near about where this property was starting to be built. And we've got some fantastic photos of when this was actually being built. It just blows my mind that there's still even evidence of this. And what they did was they built through the chalk. So they used the hillside that this is laying onto. They built within that, and then we reckon it was pretty much bricks that these walls that you're looking at were pretty much made of, and then they'd been whitewashed and obviously plastered, etc., etc. And most of the wood you can sort of see, some of it was rotted away, some of it's original. But you've got this incredible, almost like corridor, like a blast wall corridor that you normally see in fallout shelters or nuclear bunkers, and it's got that really weird. It's got a very fallout shelter vibe, even though it's World War II. And as you sort of enter through the first door, you'd be greeted by a second door, and then you're in this sort of, it's a square box, but it's sort of divided into it sort of curves around, almost like a horseshoe type of shape. And what's fascinating by that, even name, talking about that, is just remarkable. I'm speechless by this. There's a lovely little vent that is here, and then also what I've never seen before is the escape hatch, which is the tallest escape hatch for a private shelter I've ever seen. And it's remarkable because fundamentally, if the house or the front entrance had ever been hit, then you would have actually probably been trapped within this hillside, because like I said, we're quite deep inside the back of this beautiful hillside that's got some incredible views. And then, so you need a way out. So this escape hatch basically plants you up on top of the hill, looking above the property. And there's also a vent that we can see, and we can also see the top of that vent as well. And it's just amazing construction. All private air raid shelters we've spoken about on this channel are unique, and no two are ever the same. But this one is just, my mind is blown every time I see these types of shelters, because you're always surprised. You never know. Sometimes you see photos, but it never does you any justice until you actually arrive in it. We know that this would have probably been built for the immediate family, and it's quite a large property that we are situated in. And there would have been your standard bunks and beds. It's just enough, just if the sirens were going off, that you would have been safe in here. And we can say as well, again without revealing location, we're in a prime target for German bombers on the flight path, let's just sort of say. So actually, if you were here, you would have been very well aware of the German threat during World War II, seeing the bombers going off over, etc., etc. And like I said, the fact that we know this is roughly built in 1939, at the start of the war, it just blows my mind. Like I said, the escape hatch blows my mind because it's built for purpose. Everything here that we see is designed for purpose. Even the long corridor in is built for purpose. I'm sure there probably would have been a chemical toilet or something like that, although that doesn't always denominate these types of situations with shelters, because really it depends on the family and circumstances. Like, the main idea is that you are just removed away from the house. And obviously you do feel extremely well protected in this shelter. Remarkable though, so incredible. Like I said, it's been whitewashed. And you can see, like I said, some of original, like within the indentations of like the wall itself, where there would have been like panelling, etc., etc., where there would have been former panelling. Like I said, where there would have been another door. But I've got to say, this is incredible. The detail, like I said, is just remarkable. The fact, like I said, you've got that air vent, that tiny little air vent. You've got this remarkable escape hatch, which leads it's the tallest escape hatch I've ever seen for a private shelter, and I'm talking, it beats any single one I've ever seen. I mean, yeah, even looking down at it from the top or looking up, there is that element of actual like, cool, actually, I'm not sure I'd want to actually even attempt to do that even on a modern day sort of scale of going, oh, would I actually want to just climb that? Obviously, needs must though, and if you were buried in during World War II from the entrance, the only way is to get out of that ladder. And obviously, if it keeps you safe and alive, then that's really what it serves its purpose for, isn't it? It doesn't matter how sketchy it looks, even from our modern day eyes. But remarkable. I think the photos, again, just do this place justice. The details around those photos as well is even more incredible. It's so rare that we get to see these air raid shelters that actually have photographic evidence to prove its existence, and actually to even see it being built. We have seen it before, but even to see it now, even now, I'm still always surprised when I do see original photos of these wonderful places. Obviously, as you can imagine, it's been well kept by the owner, and that's testament to the family who have lived here. It's just remarkable. They kept it in actually really good condition with the paint, etc., etc. And remarkably, even though it's a very clean air raid shelter, the cave spiders still find their own way in here. Of course they do. They're going to find their way in, and they're going to have their egg sacs, and they're quite chunky spiders. So even in a clean, well-kept air raid shelter, they still find their own way in. But yeah, remarkable. I just want to say a massive thanks to the owner for allowing this exclusive, never before filmed access. It has been a true historical gem for me to record, and it's such a lovely person to chat to as well. I just want to say thank you so much, Andy, for allowing me to do this. Like I said, we're going to keep location secret. For whatever reason, if you do know where this is, please keep it a secret. It's about documentation, it's about preserving these sites. Obviously, the owners don't really want to. If you're the owner and you get a billion people knocking your door, it's not really a good thing, is it? So just please understand this video is for historical documentation and just to preserve these wonderful sites, no matter what their future. Whether they get turned into, as we've seen in the past, wine cellars or gardening equipment or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that these still survive and you can still get a really great picture and imagination from these wonderful places. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. In the more words of Phoenix history, much love to all of you out there. Because history matters, I think we can safely say on this one, it totally does, doesn't it? We'll of course see you all very soon. As you already know, we always make 2 videos. So obviously this is one for you lot to work out there, and then we'll document it ourselves behind the scenes so that it won't ever get lost. Take care, much love to all of you out there. See you later. Bye.